Alright, Chapter 7, Inspection Consideration, Section 1, Tools and Equipment. For 7.1, basic for the inspection of the bridge with any count of the material, the structure of the bridge inspection should be equipped with the least basic toolkit, which includes but not necessarily limited to the following: a few books, inspection guide, sketch pad, paper, pencil, clipboard, key, little marker, inspection mirror on the swivel head with extension arm for the view of the difficult areas, camera, 35mm reporter, Polaroid with recording of observed defect, safety belt for individual protection, tool belt, flashlights, viewing with the darkened area, pocket knife, and binoculars. Section 2, Concrete Inspection. In addition to the basic tool list above, the concrete inspection tool should also consist of the following: 100-foot tape for measuring long cracks, large areas, and 6-foot folding rule with a 6-inch extender having the 1/32 of an inch marking on the measuring of the crack length width of the piano wire with pressing with the depth of the crack, for chipping the hammer with the sound concrete, remove the deteriorated concrete, a whisk broom for removing the debris, and scraper for removing the incrustations, wire brush for cleaning, and exposed reference for the calipers, inside, outside, micrometer measured, exposed, reinforcing bars, and tape recorder for recording narratives in deteriorated conditions. 7.3, Steel Inspection. In addition to the basic tool of the list above, the steel inspection kit should be and also consists of the following: with a 100-foot tape measure long, deformed section, 6-foot folding ruler with a 6-inch extender measuring section, offset to 4 members, shipping the hand with a cleaning and heavy duty with a corroded area, a scraper to remove the deteriorated paint, light corrosion, center punch for marking ends of the cracks and calipers, dialed inside and outside with a micrometer with a measuring loft section, web, flanges, etc. Feeler gauges measuring cracks width and dry film paint gauge for measuring paint film thickness, large screwdriver, heavy duty pliers, open wrench, and wire brush removing corrosion products, the corrosion meter and dye penetrating kit, wiping clothes with examining small cracks, wiping cloths for examining small cracks, magnifying glasses view of the suspected small cracks along welds, and around connection shovel to remove the debris with the ultrasonic testing device, testing hammer for the checking connection, cold chisel marking reference points. Alright, 7.4, Timber Inspection. In addition to the basics listed above, the timber inspection toolkit should also consist of the following: industrial crane, chipping hammer for the deteriorating areas of the unsound timber, a ice pick for the prying with the picking with the determined extent of the unsound timber, the knife for the prying with the picking to determine the extent of the unused unsound timber, prying tool for the prying around the fitting to determine the tightening and the deterioration between the surface and extent of the timber effects. Do not use the screwdriver increment boring for the taking and the testing of the borings to determine extent internal damage. Create assorted plugs for placing of the holes made in the timbers with the incremented bore, pocket tape for the measuring around piles and other members, 6-foot folding rule with a 6-inch extender having 1/32 markings measuring deteriorated area, scraper with the cleaning and instruction with the piling, and a 100-foot tape measure, distance reference point, a whisk broom for the remove of the debris, and straight edge for the UV the reference point with the measure of the section loss, calipers, inside out, lower micrometers for measuring loss, section, testing hammer, and cold chisel. 7.5, Cast iron, wrought iron, aluminum inspection. In addition with the basic tool listed above, the toolkit should also include the following: 100-foot tape measure along deformed section, 6-foot folding rule with 6-inch extender for the measuring section of the set of the deformed member, chipping the hand with the cleaning the heavily with the corroded area, scraper remove the deteriorated paint, light corrosion, center punch for the marking end of the caliper, crackers and calipers, inside out with a micrometer for the measuring of the section, feeler gauge for the measuring crack, large screwdrivers, heavy duty pliers, open end wrench, pocket knife, wire brush, remove the corrosion products, corrosion meter, dye penetrating quit, wiping cloths for examining small cracks, magnifying glass, viewing suspected areas, small cracks along with the welds around the connection shovel will remove the debris. 7.6, Special equipment. Other specialty items may be required for the ladders, the scaffold to travel, the couple and travelers or cabling, snoopers over the cherry picker with the truck mount bucket on the hydraulic operated boom or platform truck, burning, drilling, or the grinding, and equipment that sand shop blasting, equipment that boat and barge, driver equipment, scuba and hard hat, sounding equipment, lead lines to electrical depth finders, transit level to other surviving equipment, television cameras, underwater use of the closed circuit of the television with a videotape recorder, magnetic electrical loader located for the rebars, helicopter, air jet equipment, air breathing apparatus, mechanical ventilation equipment, blower air pipes, penetrate pre-entry air test equipment, device for the test oxygen content, detect noxious gases, ultrasound equipment, radiographic equipment, magnetic particle equipment, dye penetration, ultrasound, radiographic, magnetic particle, dye penetrated with the non-destructive methods are being found on the scope of the average inspection. Alright, Section 2, Safety. The safety of the bridge inspect for the utmost important while the work may be hazardous, the accident with the probability may be limited to perceiving the causes. Always be careful that you with good judgment proceed prudence in conducting your activities, both for your own safety and the others. That the safety of the rules must be practiced at all times. Bridge and site organization. General, the safety of the personal equipment, the efficiency of the bridge inspection operation dependent on the proper site of the organization. Personnel, all individuals assigned with the work of the should be thoroughly trained within the rigging and on the equipment, the scaffold, working platforms, ladders, safety belt with a plan with the inspection should be given the first consideration, safeguarding for the personnel for the possible injuries. And equipment inspection of the equipment at highway traffic barricade sign that should be arranged according to plan of the inspection. Accomplished light handling. Light lifting, little handling, unnecessary movement of the repositioning of its possible vehicle not directly involved with the inspection process should be part to prevent congestion and avoid interference with the air of the inspection. Orderliness, individuals should be developed or orderly habits of the working the housekeeping on the job. 79. Personal protection. It's important to dress properly with the keep the clothing that shows free with the grief of the following protective equipment is recommended for use at all times. Hard hat with a chin strap and do guy with a face mask with a shield with a helmet to work around with the shop, blasting, cutting, and welding, etc. Reflective vest with belts when working in the traffic light. Preserve the work vest when working in over water. Shoes with the cork of the rubber and some other non-slip shoe. If your work glasses wear for the climbing of the wearing of the bifocal with the exception of the rule of the only regular single lens glasses should be worn when climbing. When working with the requiring closing view with this performance to be preferred, separate pair of the glasses lens around with the purpose should be worn. Do not drink alcoholic beverages before during work when working hours. They may impair judgment reflects the condition. 710. A special safety equipment lifeline belt must be worn with the working heights over the 20 feet or above the water or above the traffic. Life-saving safety kit should be provided with working over large rivers, harbors, and scale should have life preservers and lifelines on board. Warning: single barricades and flagmen necessary with the depth with the inspect with the scaffold platform trucks are even the access to the underside of the bridge seat with the structure. Section 711. Climbing on high steel. Generally preferable to work with a traveler catwalk platform truck if possible. Note: only old ladders and catwalks proceed with caution. Scaffold. When using on old ladders and catwalks proceed with caution. Sorry, not only but no. Scaffolding. When using scaffolding, following the precautions should be observed. The scaffolding work of the platform should be able to strengthen, should be secured against the slipping and overturning. Having the scaffold, other light scaffold supporting rope should be tested before using. Hanging 1 foot so far the ground with the loading of the weight at least 4 times if the grade is the working load. Scaffold should be inspected at least once each working day. Ladders should be used to working platforms only with the absolute necessary to do so. With the use of the ladders, following precautions should be observed. Making certain that the ladder is used should be used soundly and constructed with the wood and the material should be straight grained and clear. Ladders should be tested and make sure that they carry intended loads. The ladders should be blocked at the foot of the or tied to the top to prevent slipping. The person should be cautioned frequently with the and trying to reach too far from a single setting ladder. Planks and platforms. Planks and platforms may be used with the necessary. The following precautions should be observed. The planks should be large enough for the span. Never use a single plank. 2 planks are a bare minimum. They should be attached to leads 18 inches apart. Safety. Keep all catwalks, scaffolds, platforms, and free of the ice and grease for the other slippery distance of the material. Catwalks, scaffold, platforms, they have handrails and toe boards that keep the tools and other objects kicked off to become a hazard to anyone below. Always watch where you're stepping. Do not run or jump. Do not climb if you're tired to upset. All right, 712. Confined space, confined space. In general, in the recent year, there has been an increase of the hollow structural member of the tubular with the block section with the take large enough to permit the body man to enter the interior of the member. And the bridge work of the boxes are even both in the large truss of the bridge of the girder bridges and with the rectangular or trapezoidal box section. These types of member of the interior is often closed off and at both ends formed at a closed box. The protected interior is in high current corrosion resistant even with the bare metal within some closed section, closable, watertight, vapor type, the excess of the hole to provide with a permanent inspection of the interior, while the bolt box section with the Alphax offers both structural advantage with the type of the section that they are center health hazard for the which for the main of the inspectors other may be involved with these type of the sections should be aware. Hazards. No health hazards exist confined with the space of the proper if there's proper ventilation. However, the hazard atmosphere can develop because of the lack of sufficient oxygen, because of the concentration of the toxic gas. Oxygen deficiency can be caused by low oxidization organic matter which can become moistened. Toxic gases may seem to be confined space and may be generated by such work processes as painting, burning, or welding. The confined space may be such that the small volume of the contaminants are produced more quickly with limited ventilation of the space that can overcome. The person should be not allowed to work in the confined space containing less than 19% oxygen unless provided with the air breathing apparatus. However, as noted, a space with deficient oxygen content can be made unfit for the human occupancy if the work conducted therein produces toxic fumes or gases. Such space should be occupied by the inspector only with adequate ventilation. Safety procedures. All right. Pre-entry air test. The test of the oxygen content should be conducted with approve of the oxygen detecting device. The minimum of the 2 tests should be conducted wherever the presence of the other gas, the subject of the test of gases should be conducted as was improved with the gas testing device. The following gases should be considered with a carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide, methane, and any combustible gas. If the oxygen content air is in the space below the 19% of the noxious gas present with the equal to the extent of the 125% of the threshold limited values accomplished for the Americans come from. However, as the government industrial hygiene reference 6, no person should be allowed to enter each such space until the oxygen content and the gas content meets the specified limits of the minimum period of 15 minutes. Ventilation during occupancy. All confined spaces should be mechanically ventilated continuously during the occupancy, regardless of the presence of the gas and depletion of the oxygen, the conduct of the contaminating, producing work. Where contaminating produced operation conduct with the ventilation scheme should be approved with the industrial hygiene engineer, safety engineer, marine chemist, and other qualifications to be provided by such operation. Air test during occupancy with the toxic gas presence. Oxygen depletion is detected suspect with the air test. Similar to the pre-entry of the air test should be conducted during the occupancy with 15-minute intervals. With contaminating producing the operation conducted the air test should be conducted to determine the adequacy of the ventilation scheme. Section 3, documentation of the bridge inspection. Field inspection 713 general. The field inspection of the general should be conducted with a systematic, organized procedure, efficient, minimize the possibility of any of the bridge for they being overlooked. Not much. Notes must be clear, detailed to the extent that they may go fully interpreted with a later date, but a completely report is made with the sketch photograph should be included in the effort with a minimize the long description. 714 planning, documenting the inspection. Careful planning of the inspection. Selection of the appropriate record keeping formats are essential for the well organized, complete with the efficiency inspection during the plan phase. The items shall be considered for the inspection scale, the inspection type of the resource, required manpower, equipment, materials, special tools, and instrument. With all pertinent available information for the structure of the plans and previous inspection, current inventory report, and previous repairs. Documentation methods. Notebook. The inspection of the notebook normally used as the sole documentation structure over the complexity unit. It should be prepared with the to inspection formatted with the best facility for schematic inspection for the recording of the bridge. Bridge inspection. For small and simple bridges, it may be convenient to prepare with the checklist suggested items of these inspection provided with the appendix B and the appendix C. Sketches can be drawn with additional comments provided with this required. The able to stand and prepare the sketches should be attached with the coding of all the members clearly identical. The sketch of the narrative of the description cannot fully describe the deficiency with the defect of the photograph shall be taken and should be referred appropriately in the narrative prior to the inspection. Should be determined with the items applicable to the bridge for the inspection, coordinate with the resource requirements, particularly with the specialist personnel and equipment. The inspection proceed with the existing of the fracture. A critical member, the discussed in chapter 6 of these members should be identified prior to the inspection so that they can be given the special attention during the inspection. The member should be specifically needing to know about the inspector's notebook prior to the inspection. 715. Structural evaluation. General bridge is typically divided into two main joints with the substructure and the superstructure. The conveniency of the deck with it sometimes considered with a separate unit, the basic unit that may be divided with the structural member, which in turn made further subdivided into the elements component of the general procedure evaluating structure assigned with a numerical rating to the condition of each of the element or component of the main units. Choose a numerical rating system and is provided in appendix C. These ratings may be combined with the obtained with a numerical value for the overall condition of the member or of the unit. Explanatory aids, narrative description. Description of the condition should clear for the type of possible the completeness. However, it is essential that therefore narratives of moderate length will sometimes require the adequate described bridge conditions. Photographs can be great with the assistance of particular recommendation. Pictures to be taken with any of the problems that cannot be completely explained by a narrative description is better to take several photographs that may be unessential to make one that would preclude misunderstanding of the report. At least two photographs of every structure should be taken. One of these should be depict the structure of the roadway, while the other photos should be viewed with the side of elevation. Summary. Inspection is not complete with the narrative summary not complete until the narrative summary of the condition of the structure has been written. A recommendation of the inspector should according to the urgency of any of the repairs that are necessary to maintain the structural integrity of the public safety. Section 4. Inspection procedure. General, the development and sequence of the inspection bridge, important with the actual outline of the bridge inspection wells constructed sequence. Provide with a working guide with the inspection, ensure the schematic through the inspection factors, some of the factors of the influence of the procedure, sequence of the bridge, inspection, size of the bridge, complexity of the bridge, existence of the fracture for the critical member, the traffic density, availability, special equipment, and availability specialist. The thoroughness for the inspection is important with the sequence of the inspection. Particular attention should be given to the structural important member of the members of the suspectable deterioration or damage. Visual inspection. Certain debris must be removed with a permanent visual observation. The precise measurement, careful visual inspection should be submitted with appropriate special devices. Techniques necessary use the closed circuit television photography and mirrors will increase the visual access of the many of the components. Alright, 717 inspection sequence. So average bridge for the bridge of the average length with the complexity with inconvenience and is convenient to conduct the inspection of the following sequence. Substructure units, piles, score protection, piers, abutments, skew, banks, anchors, footings, superstructure unit, the main supporting member, the bearing, second members, embracing units, utilities, decking, including roadway and joints, and dam sidewalks and railings, miscellaneous approach lighting, signing, electrical barriers and gates, other traffic control devices. Large bridge, while the sequence inspection large bridge generally is the same as the smaller bridge, consumption may occur with the following situation. Hazards climbing on the other hazard of the task to be accomplished without the inspector is fully alert. Weather, wind, extreme conditions of the rain or snow may force the postponement of the hazardous activities such as the climbing, the driving, the waterborne operations. Traffic, medium barrier, decks, and deck joints, traffic control devices, approaches should be inspected with daylight during the period of relatively light traffic to ensure the inspection safety to avoid any disruption of traffic. And for inspection party side, the inspection party side is large. Several of the different tasks may be performed simultaneously by different inspectors with a group of inspectors. Chapter 8, Bridge Component Inspection.